Welcome to another episode of Starseed Activations. Thank you so incredibly much, dear Mary, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for coming and for being a part of tonight's channeled session. Thank you so much, dear star people, for bringing forward the best information that is in alignment with all individuals watching tonight's show. We wish to start today's session with an Om. An Om opens and expands your heart chakras, allowing for a thought grid connection to form in the ethers. If each of you will take a deep breath in, and one more deep breath in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear star people, for connecting with us. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, I guess we're going to get started on the book.
That's our cue, Mary.
The page is page 85, Reflections of the Inner Child, and this is Keys to My Ascension. The inner child reflects in a multitude of ways in patterning expressed. All childhood traumatic imprints contain safe spots and resurface in order to heal or witness polarity completion events. Healing these imprints shall unlock suppressed gifts from the higher self. Some childhood experiences may be perceived as being locked. This happens when traumatic imprints requires clearing prior to activation of childhood joyful talents. Once the trauma-based coding is released, it allows those suppressed talents to resurface for further expression.
Yes. So this is really interesting because cycle repeats. Me, from a human level, in my comprehension, the early stages was an awareness of the cycle repeats as any experience that I have that was traumatic in its nature cycles again in order to allow us to hold a more positive frequency of love. Now, when we talk about ancestral karma, we start getting into what did your mother and father go through? We've been told the traumatic emotions will cycle repeat, but that's not necessarily the case. We have seen positive cycle repeats take place, as well as different experiences that the parent will walk through, and then all of a sudden the child walks through an identical experience. And it's like, wow, I did that when I was a kid, and now you're doing it. Many times when we have our own children, the children are here to guide us, for us to observe our cycles, because they are a mirror reflection of a frequency stemming from inside of ourselves. So when we can identify, oh, okay, this is a pattern, it's repetitive in its nature. One great way to do this, because the day and age that we are in right now, is we have the technology, so we have the means. So if each one of us can start writing down a daily journal and then cross-checking it with, say, the children, our particular children, we're going to start to see the patterns form. But it's not only with the children, ever so gently, dear ones, with each individual in your inner circle starts different cycle repeats, which each individual may see manifest through each other. What this means is you may notice a particular experiential manifest for the entire group of friends or social circles. This experience may be viewed by different angles of light reflected. These different angles of light allow for different emotional codes to be held and observed by each primary individual. This, dear one, allows the source frequency access into experiencing every possible potential manifestation. The inner child work, dear ones, allows for the primary individual to change or modify any cycle repeats as desired, including a positive or negative polarity expression. Going deep within the inner child allows access into the solar plexus. The solar plexus is responsible to a connection to the ether. It pulls in that life energy, which then activates a form of angular light refractal. This light refractal system may then be modified in order to allow the primary individual access to particular manifestations which require a type of energy only a type of Kundalini discharge may activate. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Star.
you. So is the inner child kind of like the mother wound a little bit?
Well, very similar because the mother wounds the child. The
Mhm.
child then holds that wound imprint, and that is your inner child. So, if we can, each of us, when we start to imagine and visualize our inner child, what did you look like as a child? It doesn't matter even if you imagine it or if you don't know, just imagine it and feel it and see it and put that inner child right in front of you. Put him or her on a heart to heart hug. Tell her or him she's safe. Tell her how much you love her, how much it was such a blessing and an honor to be her, how well she turned out in her life, or how much adversity she had to overcome in order to activate herself to such a high degree. When we start to really drop into the mental space inside or access the psyche within us, we then start to cultivate a type of relationship. That inner child, she activates your magical abilities or your extrasensory abilities, literally, because the children are able to see and visualize things. They're able to activate this type of creativity in which, if you wanted to manifest something so wild that you've never seen it on this planet, your inner child can help you blossom that open and unpack it. She or he is the one who pulls that energy in, allowing that frequency, because all energy, all light ions contain a frequency bandwidth. The inner child will then pull the required energetic signature into the biological form. This energy then sits and chambers within your sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is then activated by pleasure, by following your highest potential or highest passion. It then releases the chambered energy within the solar plexus. This then starts a form of what is known as shedding. It is when the soul shines bright. For when each of you are truly excited and happy, there is more light ions that reflect outside your aura field. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Starby.
I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat that said hi.
Hi. Hey,
Everybody
everybody.
said hi, hi.
Thank you guys for coming. Happy Thursday. Next week, we are not doing the live or the shadow work Zoom because we will be hosting the Costa Rica retreat. So probably for the next 2 weeks, we'll see how it goes.
Yep. Not me.
I know. I love you, Mary.
You said
The
we.
next one. Yeah, I know. Well, I've been saying that a lot. We, because it's Tarek and I and the team. So
Oh,
it's okay.
yeah, that's true. Okay. The next one is page 86, angular expressions.
Yes.
Each individual consists of a light refractal system. This light reflective system allows for angular expressions to manifest, which start to generate different distortions experienced. These distortions change the physical reality and give the illusion of separation. A distortion is a density veil that discolors the flow of light of the light refractal. These distortions may manifest any experience in order to perceive a physical reality. Distortions may be considered a lower frequency range. Each individual is pure light in the highest calibration. Experiencing a physical reality allows for a slowing of the light into the denser time space reality, which grants a perception of a 3D existence.
Yes. So if we can imagine, now a lot of times we talk about the higher self bonding into the physical body and the two becoming one, they merge. What actually is happening is during the process of ascension, we are guided to release any densities and any distortions. So, a distortion is, let's say, the light free flows angularly from the body. If there is any density covering that light, it forms a distortion. It is a distorted vision of light. What that means is anytime that we see something that is a lower frequency or a lower density, it is because there is a layer of darkness over the aura field, which is not allowing that pure light to shine through. Because if you were shining at your highest and brightest, every single thing around you would also be frequency aligned or matched to the highest and brightest frequency calibration. When you are at your optimal performance, all of your ducks generally flow in a row. Everything is very smooth and easy. You wake up, the divine synchronicities kick in, and all of a sudden you're always in the right place at the right time to have the most amount of fun. That's because you're holding a very high density level. That high density level allows access into light or crystalline realms. The more and more we can release the shadows or the densities, the more it automatically allows for higher frequencies to be observed within the body. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that. Actually, about what you were saying about the crystal being, just high vibe, and that's been on my mind. So this resonates.
That's it. Well, the more and more we go into the shadow, the more and more we pull, the more tears you can release from the actual body. It actually
Mhm.
starts to change the cellular structures and it starts to re encode the cells with a higher frequency. Because you are crying, you are removing the old emotion codes from the waters of the body. So it's not blood, it's salt water. And inside the cells is a form of crystalline structure in the waters, the fluidity systems. It is not connected to the blood. Although it is, it isn't. It's the fluid inside each of the cells, which is a type of salt water. So the more and more we can allow these emotions to come up and release them and to hold that neutrality, it then allows us to hold more light in the biological form. And this then starts a process of your intuition will naturally kick in when you start to do the shadow work. So bad behaviors, things will just fall out of your life because the second that you start focusing on your thoughts and your emotions, anything that pulls you down, you're releasing. That means people, places, and things that are not in alignment with your frequency when it's up here, it falls out of your life. You just don't see them anymore. So divine alignment and synchronicity kicks in and it puts you in the right place at the right time so that you may not run into those individuals who are no longer in alignment. And that's okay too. But the more you start to focus on also as you're releasing the darkness, you are calling in the light. Calling in the light, that could look like putting your feet on the earth and asking Mother Earth to ground you. That could look like walking through the forest, putting your hands in the trees, and asking Mother Earth to rebalance your magnetic grids, allowing you to raise your biological frequency. The more and more we start to come inwards, we start to connect to the planet, and we start to focus on holding that unconditional love for all things outside of us, even the people who have wronged us. Forgive them and hold love for them. And then that in its turn will start you like slingshotting on the ascension path. It's beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that.
me too. Me too. Absolutely.
Okay, the next page is page 90. Is that right?
He's we're at 90 or
Oh,
88.
88.
We could skip to 90. You said 90. Let's do it.
Okay. The Starfield Physics and the Flower of Life. The star field expresses a center soul light tubule, which then free flows into the surrounding aspects of the unified field. The star field allows for a plasma energetic to flow inward into the ring system, which allow a manifestation of either expression generating the physicality of each reality viewed. Keep going.
Yeah, I would do one more.
Okay. The multiverse free flows parallel realities, which then compress into a singular timeline expressions. Compress into singular timeline expressions. This flow of light, flower of life, is known as the universal breath of life system and radiates inward with five solid foundations of past thought and one new patterning of thought combined inside the 0 point located within the heart.
Yes. So, and that's a little different than the thought grids because the thought grids are five strings into the memories and the one string of the now moment because it's pulling in the thoughts like this. So the heart works very similar, which it's pulling together and then combining in the 0 point. The 0 point is that moment of stillness, that moment of neutrality, that it's not positive, it's not negative, it's the 0 point. It's that moment of deep, deep meditation when you're not here but you're not there, you're in between the worlds. That's the 0 point. When we're able to open and expand the 0 point, there is different waking or walking meditations each and every one of us are able to do, which then allows access into the 0 point during the now moment. This type of 0 point access then allows the primary individual to change or modify the simulation codings as they see fit. For holding that neutrality to all things witnessed or observed allows for direct emotional casting onto any person, place, or thing, which then may start the process of shifting the density held. There are different forms of energetic castings, for each of you may already know how to send love and light. However, dear ones, there are also different circular expressions of light which may be activated. For example, the density coding of any item, person, place, or thing may be modified by sounding forward a density circle. This density circle is more of a palette in its nature and it shifts. They're showing me it's like this. It starts on the right hand side and it shifts to the left hand side, and it's a grouping of circles that come around. So it's like a palette, like a wheel of different circles. And when we see the item, we are then able to pull the density circles up and then shift the circle from right to left, which it goes through multiple circles. And then it's able to shift the actual density held by any or all items, people, places, or things in the now moment. It's like, I mean, I say it's about everything, but it's like the most important thing because imagine if you're looking at your car, your house, and all of a sudden you're able to pull this density circle up and you're able to shift it. And now all of a sudden your car, your house is at a higher frequency. Well, when we're at a higher frequency, things are healed. So you may not have as many scratches on the car. You could change the color of the car. You could change there's so many different things. You could change the color, you could change the combination. Every single thing that we see on outside reality in this world, we are able to actually change how it looks. You could change the grass to purple. Now, once again, it's not the grass that changes, it's you that changes. And when you hold the frequency of, let's say, having purple grass, now all of a sudden you vibrationally align yourself into a parallel reality expression in which a grass was always purple. This is what a timeline convergence does this naturally. And so the solar energetics are shifting the way we see the timelines. Because whereas Mary was just saying, there's five different timelines. These are the baseline frequencies, which are closest in vibrational resonance to the primary individual now. However, dear ones, when a timeline convergence takes place, it then allows all the timelines closely related to one another to then shift and blend back into a celestial being's 0 point. This, dear one, allows for all timelines to merge back into one. All individuals may start to notice changes to the outer world they see when a timeline convergence takes place. You may also summon a type of experience similar to a timeline convergence. However, it is also known as a deja vu. This deja vu allows for different manifestations of different timeline expressions to be changed. For when each of you start to learn the light refractal systems, it then allows you to modify the simulation codings. These simulation codings also allow access into back doors. These back doors allow for instantaneous teleportation. For all matter is a light refracted from the source frequency lens. Time space is an illusion of sorts. Each individual is able to modify the biological form and the emotion codings expressed within the physical form, which allows access into that location frequency. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Star.
I just wrote down light refractive system to start.
Mary. So
I have,
cute.
I have to find out about everything and I have to do it. I just have
I
to.
have the notepad. So, like, in my phone, I think Nikki knows how to do this too. That woman is magic. You just type it in the notepad and it pulls up all the posts that have it. But the light refractal system, I know we have at least one or two posts on it.
Yeah.
I'll have
Yeah.
to look. I'll hit it in the notepad. Yeah.
The next one is the higher levels of awareness. That's page 88.
Yeah. Oh, we're going back to 88? Okay.
Yeah, because, yeah.
Let's do it.
A higher level of awareness allows for the primary individual to see the angles of experiential moments and view the secondary perception through a separate entity's viewpoint. Allowing this perception to manifest allows a reflection of the self to become embodied. This allows for a third party player viewpoint to become expressed. Observations of the now moment shall allow deeper knowledge of the self to become evidently aware and shall allow for splitting of the timelines to fully form.
Yeah, this one is really interesting. Like, if you can just take the whole concept and like zoom in on it and see. So let's say you're standing around in a group of 3 people. We're all connected. We are all one consciousness. Every single one of us, we're able to see from each other's eyes. This is what a perception box is. This is how my husband Tarek is able to access my body. He's able to move my arms, my legs. He's able to, there's tons of things. So by opening a perception box, it's seeing the window into their reality expression. You're also able to see all of the emotion codes, all of the thoughts you're able to see and perceive. Now, every single human being right now on this planet, we are able to see into the future. This is a form of precognition. We could do this right now. If we hook up the brainwave readers to an individual and we show images, the brainwaves trigger before the actual image is shown on the TV. So our bodies and our minds are a type of radio receiver, receiving the images and the frequencies, the emotion codes. It's more like we are broadcasting the emotion codes and manifesting the image on the TV. That's how that works. Now, at a higher level of awareness, when we start to open and access perception boxes, that means that, let's say the 3 individuals are standing around having a conversation, and maybe it was an argument. You want to see from their level of awareness. You want to see, why are they responding in the way that they're responding. You stop everything. All 3 is go into a meditation. The meditation doesn't have to look like anything crazy. Sit down, close your eyes, open their perception box, rewind, and you can actually go back into that moment and you can see word for word the entire experience occur. And you're able to see, feel, and perceive all of their emotion codes held. This is of great value, for each of you are also able to perceive their density codings, which allow access into a type of knowledge of trauma imprints. When the primary individual reaches a higher level of awareness, it then allows this type of ability to form suddenly. When the ability is fully manifest into a second degree, the primary individual will be allowed to change or modify traumatic imprint codings held within secondary player characters or primary individuals, as you say it, in the now moment expression. This allows for the primary individual to then heal all people he or she talks to. By going inwards, you are able to access these abilities while having your eyes open. For meditation is simply a form of connecting to the higher self. When the higher self is fully bonded into your biological form, it allows for multiple angles of light to then be observed. This includes through the eyes of any secondary people, places, and things, even. For you are able to open perception boxes, which allow access into an entire city's frequency. You may feel the vibe of that state. You may feel the emotions or thoughts of that tree. You may feel the crystalline core of your planet. And you may feel the humanity consciousness grids. The second, the primary individual may feel into any one of these systems. You then are able to energetically cast new thought forms into the system. Casting new thought forms then allows for recalibrations of those systems, including different densities held, which then raise the frequency of the simulation codings. Changes or modifications to your individual world among worlds expression shall then allow multidimensional abilities to grow and expand. For each of you is assigned guides at birth. Each of you will go through an ascension process, and you may observe gatekeepers. These gatekeepers are here to allow for each individual to reach a level of observation so that each individual is safely ascended. Thank you. Thank you, Star.
Thank you. The next one is unity consciousness. Did we talk about that already last week?
I think so.
Because I remember saying that it's my
I
favorite.
thought so. A couple pages ago, I was like, I think we did this last week. But I didn't say anything. In my mind, though, I heard it. It was like, yeah, the people watching on YouTube, they're going to watch one episode, and then they're going to watch the next one and be like, oh, she said it different this time.
Okay, we'll just move on.
So great.
Hey,
That's
it's good to get
perfect.
double with
I think so. Yeah, because you may get a totally different download. It's okay.
We'll go to page 96.
Okay, we're skipping ahead. 96. So fun.
Star-crossed and spirit guides, because I know we have not done this page.
Wait a second. No, we haven't.
Okay. There is a process of soul light blending during the reincarnation process, which allows two souls to incarnate into one body vessel for one entire life expression. This is known as star-crossed and soul expression and generates a very special type of zero-point energetic signature. This star-crossed soul expression allows for the experimental imprints of both higher selves to blend down to the singular vessel. This allows for both higher soul forms to rapidly transmute traumatic imprints in one life expansion. This is beneficial on the soul level in order to witness from any angle of another soul's experience.
So sometimes we'll take this from like a higher level of awareness context. We take a look from the heavens. Now, the heavens, when you come out of your physical body, there are guides there. There are people who take you through a life review and they say, oh, you need to learn this, this, and this. And let's say you were struggling to learn these things. Sometimes you are able to acquire a guide. And once again, it all depends on the situation over there. a guide may be, and this is only one experience of this ability. There's many different fractals of it. So a guide may come in and say, okay, you're trying to get to the next level. I'll share an incarnation with you. They twist and they blend their souls together. And then all of a sudden, they manifest down into one body vessel. Sometimes people who have two different color eyes, it's because they have two different higher selves. So if you have two heterochromia, if you have two different color eyes, write in, send us a message and let us know if you've ever felt like you were like one person and then like you felt like you were somebody else, because it's a different feeling. So you may have had the two different higher selves pushing different emotions as you were going through your experiences. Now, once again, the higher level of awareness, higher self, is coming down in order to help the lower level of awareness to rise up, to get through whatever, let's call it a level, right? So you're in a consciousness level in a bricks of time. So you drop in to have that experience. There's different reasons why this takes place as well. Sometimes it's actually opposite. You may have a guide blend in and two soul forms in one body because the guide, his highest passion is activating extrasensory abilities. So that guide may be consciously blended into the soul form so that he may have the experience of being in this reality, activating the extrasensory abilities during that lifetime. And while he's down here, he is helping another soul up, and he is also having his highest passion experience. But that's only one experience of why it happens. The truth is that even the twin flames is the same exact higher self that manifests down into two body vessels at once. And then those two people end up in a relationship. And that's because the higher self thought, okay, well, let's send two down so we could try and raise both individuals. And so they go through the cycle repeats together very, very rapidly. It allows for transmutation at the highest caliber when we start seeing things of that, but it doesn't necessarily always have to be that manifestation. Every single potential is available to manifest. So where we may see one thing, there's always going to be the opposite of that one thing. That's the law of polarity in this world that we exist in. The second that each of us start holding neutrality, it overrides that law of polarity a little bit more with each level that we transcend. So, for example, in a fifth density reality, there's less darkness, but there still is a potential for darkness. And the higher up the levels we go, the potential for the darkness shrinks and there's more and more light, but there's still that tiny bit of darkness. Until you reach a certain degree, the star people are ever so gently saying, when you start to reach into the eighth dimensional expression or density expression, it then allows for no darkness to be observed in the physical reality. For many individuals, there are higher frequential beings in their nature. That being said, the higher frequential beings in their individual realities may still observe darkness by looking down into the third density, for an example. This is an expression of an angel in the third density world as you see it. The angel may be standing over your shoulder right now. You may not have an awareness of that angel being there, but he or she is observing that density layer or darkness. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Steph.
you. They're in the ether, huh?
Yes. Well, the way I like to see the angels is like this. They're in a different frequency where they're able to be here, but not here. Have you ever watched Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a part where he's in the mirror dimension and they're like, oh, this is where we sneaky sneak and we watch people. Right? Well, they're able to be here and observe without being here. It's similar to that concept. We know this already because people can come out of the body and astral project or even remote view. More, the star people saying it's more astral project, where they're taking their soul form out of the body and then they could fly around and they're able to observe other people. So they're there, but they're not really there, but they are there. They're observing that moment in time and space. Get
And
it?
sometimes you can feel them there.
It's like, yeah, you ever get like the heebie jeebies and you know someone's there?
Yeah.
Somebody could be there watching you and observing in the astral form. Or sometimes we feel an angel. My mom can see the angels. She's seen them before, multiple times. So, like, we know that they're here. We know that they're around. Now, if you place focus and attention and you do different affirmations, I can see angels. Thank you, body. Thank you, mind. Thank you, spirit, for I can see angels. The more and more you guys start to focus on that, the more your eyes opens and expands and allows you to actually see into the frequency where the angels are. It's once again for things like that, I personally would choose to tell you guys to come from the heart. Coming from the heart and opening to love and just thanking the angels. Thank you, angels, for allowing me to see you. Right? That's always like a more like beautiful way of starting to develop that form of communication with them.
They can say, I can see star people. Like, I can
Yes.
see star people. And they always say, I can't see them. Then say the affirmation, I can see star people, and they'll see
I could
them.
see, yes, I could see the star people. I could feel the star people. Yeah, it's beautiful. You
I
have
can
to
see the star
realize
people.
every single word that comes out of your mouth, it imprints the nervous system net and it imprints a space outside of the body. The more and more we start to really see the manifestations or the divine synchronicities, we start to see every single word manifest. And the second you see the words manifest, it's like a light switch goes off and you start to pay attention to what words are being spoken around you or just coming out of your mouth. And the
Mhm.
more and more we start to do affirmations of a positive note, it then allows for us to take control and imprint the field outside of us, your energetic grid structures, as well as activating the nervous system net. The star field has energetic nodules or vortexes. These nodules hold a density coding. It's either light, dark, or neutral grayscale. When we start to heal the traumatic imprints that we have walked through in this entire life, it then allows us to clean that star field nodule. If we are holding white or very bright light in that star field, it allows more experiences of a lighter caliber to then manifest for us. There's a form of plasma that pulls in through the star field and manifests the entire physical reality as we see it. That form of plasma has to go through the star field in order to radiate down and to then manifest into a physical matter coating, which is what the star people call it. Focusing on clearing the star field and focusing on doing the inner work, the shadow work, is of high value. For it allows more light to be pushed through this system, which then in turn allows your manifestations to be of a higher density level. Yes. Thank you.
Yep. That's like if you say every day, I have everything that I need. When you
Yes.
drink your water, it happens because I always have everything that I've need, and I've been saying that now for like 2 years.
Yeah. All my bills are paid in full. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And just hold that gratitude. Yeah. It's magic too, because you'll 1 a.m., you'll open your eyes and all of a sudden everything's paid and you're like, wow, it worked. So now what? Right? So that's like a tiny thing. Now we take it to unity consciousness is activated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, universe, for activating unity consciousness for all of humanity. How beautiful would that be? Just
Yep.
imagine, like, if we like stop and think about the repercussions of that, that one thing in itself. Activating unity consciousness means our psychic abilities turn on for everyone involved here. Every human being on the planet, for the most part, is going to have the psychic abilities turned on because we're going to connect into the human consciousness grids, which is all thought forms, all potentiality, and all psychic resonances become available for us to access and activate. The more and more we start to focus on unity consciousness, can you guys hear the car? The more and more we start to focus on unity consciousness and that reality, it then starts to trigger the nervous system net, which holds that resonance and magnetically aligns you to that timeline expression of unity consciousness being activated. Now, each and every one of us here tonight, we are on the ascension journey. We're already here. We're on it. We are doing the work. We are showing up for ourselves. We are seeking this knowledge, and we are focused on healing ourselves. Whatever that looks like, it doesn't have to look perfect. It never does. It just has to be you looking at your stuff, right? Looking at your body and your life and your mind and your spirit and your things, your car, your this, your that, everything that makes you you, everything that is a representation of you, and then expanding it and looking at the outside world. What state do you live in? How does that look? How does that feel? Are you putting yourself in the best aligned environment? What are you doing with your time? Right? And how are you helping the collective? Then we start to look at the meditations. Are you doing affirmations? Thank you for activating unity consciousness. I love and bless you, Mother Earth. Right? Thank you, Mother Earth, for activating humanity's extrasensory abilities. We start to say these positive things over and over, and it programs us. And the more we program ourselves, the more we open our eyes and we start to see in the outside reality, because the reality is a reflection of the frequency coming from within the self. So the more we start to tell ourselves, thank you, body. I love and I bliss my body. I absolutely love my life. I am blissed. I love all people outside of me, regardless of their circumstances. Thank you. And you just hold that gratitude and hold that neutrality. It is okay for people to have their own experiences. They don't have to be perfect. I'm not going to judge them. I'm going to root them on for doing good things if they do good things. Thank you. Do good things. We love you, right? And just hold neutrality. It's okay for you to have your experiences. I will not judge you. I choose not to judge you. And when we do that, and then we just send love to everything outside of us, everything changes in our world. Now, once again, here's a good example. You can be in one place. I'm on Long Island right now. So it's like, what, hour and a half to start to end on the island, maybe a little longer. And for an example, some parts of the island on some days get heavy duty rain. Other parts of the island, same exact day, same exact time, they have sunshine. You guys are in two different worlds, literally. One world has the rain, one world has the sunshine. Every single one of us is in our own world among worlds expression. Every single one of us aligns to that experience, whatever it is. The more and more we start to take responsibility for the experiences that we see, including the weather, it allows us to activate higher degrees of manifestation. So if we see the rain and we acknowledge it and we say, thank you, rain. You must have known that I needed the rain so that the flowers get watered. Thank you. And I am grateful for you. Then maybe tomorrow you won't need the rain. You'll have the sunshine. Or maybe in the now moment, if you're seeing storm clouds, if you drop into the heart space and you visualize sunshine and you feel how it feels to be standing with a blue sky, warm, sunshiny day. You may then open your eyes and see the clouds part, dear ones. For each of you is connected to your planet and all weather patternings to such a degree that you are able to modify said weather at any moment of time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Star People. Yes.
Is that Lucky crying?
No, it's like all the neighbors are like mowing the lawn. That one's got the weed whacker. The cars are going by with the music. It's so much fun.
I thought I heard somebody go, I thought I heard that.
No. Lucky's in the house. Right now I'm in the camper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was then, but I heard somebody like whine.
And we'll have to replay it. I want to hear.
Yep. Did you want me to read another one, or did you want to talk about the journal?
I don't have the actual journal on me. It's in my
Well,
car. We could talk about it.
Well, earlier you were saying that it's good to
Can you read a page?
bliss your
Pull,
body.
pull a random page and read it. And anyone who's watching, you guys can pause and play it back, and then get a notebook or a piece of paper and do the practice.
Okay, what about the
Say what page.
we can do the body blissing page if you
That's
want.
beautiful.
I'm not going to do the light language though.
You can do it,
No, I
Mary.
won't. I'm going
Everybody
to do
wants to
that
hear.
on the Zoom. I'm going to do that on the Zoom.
You could do it when you're comfortable. No pressure.
No, I just want to save it for the Zoom. That's why.
Okay.
Okay, the bliss in the body. You put your hands on your temple. Are you gonna?
Oh, you. I was taking a sip.
You know what to
The
do.
straw didn't work.
You know what to do.
Goodness, I thought you were gonna read it.
Okay, your body is not a vessel. It is a sacred library, storing emotional coding, memories, and stories, and light codes within the cells. Through blissing the body part by part, you reconnect with your body temple, acknowledge stored emotions without judgment, initiate natural energetic release and physical healing, invite your soul essence to fully re inhabit your physical form. And then this is the sacred body blissing ritual. You find a quiet spot, a safe spot, prepare sacred music. You can, but you don't have to. I don't.
I like to put the ohms on.
Yeah.
So I have like 108 ohms that repeats, and I like to put that on as I'm doing it. You could change it up. It's okay. But yeah, you don't have to. You can actually listen the body. The star people are even saying this can be done at any moment of your day. It's also known as a recalibration. So at any given moment, if you're like, let's say you get triggered or angry, you could just take your hands and rub them and go from the top of the head all the way down and say, I love and I bliss my body. And do that for every single body part. Now, I personally, I have a rose quartz a roller. So a roller is great because you can roll it all over your body and your skin. And as you're doing that, I love and I bless my body. Different kinds of crystals can be used. You can use, I like the palm stones because they rub. Certain Chinese medicines also do the hot stones. Those are crystals. Different crystals, different stones are used on the body, which retain the heat. Go ahead, Mary. Finish the page.
Um, you can prepare sacred music, crystals, or oils if you wish. You place
Yes.
your hand on each body area gently in order while speaking a blessing, offering, healing intention. Part by part, blessing sequences, head and crown, emotions stored, mental overactivity, confusion, control patterns. And then you can say the thing you want me to say them.
Yeah.
You, you
Do
put
it,
your hand
Mary.
you put your hand right here on your
My
temple and you
temple.
rub and you say, I bliss my mind. I
I bliss
bliss
my mind.
I bliss open my crown.
I bliss open my crown.
I allow divine wisdom to flow freely.
I allow divine wisdom to flow freely.
You can also place a clear quartz or an amethyst at the crown to do it.
Super seven.
The next one is you tap your forehead, you tap your third eye, and you say, I bliss my vision.
I bliss my vision.
I see clearly through the eyes of my soul.
I see clearly through the eyes of my soul.
You can use a lapis or fluorite for your third eye to put there if you want to when you're laying down, obviously, because it's not going to just stay up there.
You could sew it into a headband.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
this is where crowns come from. Think
Yeah.
about it. The crowns, it used to be gold, which is a superconductor material. You're getting the monoatomic gold because it's absorbing through the skin. And then they put different types of crystals. Every single one of us should be wearing a crown. All of us, literally.
Yeah,
At
they have a
least for
few people
spiritual
that make them.
practices.
They have a few
Again?
people that make
Oh,
those.
yes.
They're on
This is
Etsy.
nice.
I see them sometimes. The next one is the throat. You place your hands on your throat and you say, I bliss my voice. I speak with love, power, and authenticity.
I bliss my voice. I speak with power and authenticity.
I speak with love.
I knew I got it wrong. I was like, oh man, I said that wrong, didn't I?
Yeah. The next one is your heart. You could have grief, betrayal, or unworthiness stored here. So it's good to do that. You tap onto your heart and you say, I bless my heart.
I bliss my heart.
I forgive.
I forgive.
I love.
I love.
I expand infinitely.
I expand infinitely.
Okay. Then we move to the solar plexus.
Okay. Down to the belly.
Emotion stored there is powerlessness, guilt, fear, rejection. What you do is you do like a qigong. You put hand, your right hand over your left, and you roll it in a circle,
Okay.
and you say, "I bliss my power center.
I bliss my power center.
I am strong,
I am strong,
sovereign, and radiant."
sovereign, and radiant.
And that'll also help your stomach. When you do that, it helps your stomach. It helps your stomach digest. It's
Ah,
qigong.
very
It's
good.
qigong. Okay, the next
Beautiful.
one is the sacral, the lower belly. I usually just rub my lower belly when I do it. I bliss my sacred waters.
I bliss my sacred waters.
I create, feel,
I
and flow freely. I'm sorry.
I create, feel, and flow freely. You're perfect, Mary.
Yep. Next is the root and the legs. I usually just rub my legs all the way, all the way down while saying it.
Yeah.
I bliss my roots.
I bliss my roots.
I am safe, grounded, and held by the earth.
I am safe, grounded, and held by the earth.
And then you move to the hands. You
Ah,
take your hands like this. While doing
beautiful.
this, you say, I bliss my hands.
I bliss my hands.
I create and receive with grace and balance.
I create and receive with grace and balance.
Yeah, you do this to activate the chi. That's what the book says. You activate the chi
Okay.
with it.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And we clap.
And then the last one is very powerful. What I usually do, it's the back. I usually just put my hands back there.
Mm-hmm.
But when I start to say the release thing, I release like that.
Okay.
Um, this is carrying other people's burdens.
Mm.
I bliss my back.
I bliss my back.
I release all of the weight that is not mine to carry.
I release all of the weight that is not mine to carry.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And that's it.
That's it. That's how we bliss the body. Now, can I tell you guys something from my personal experience? Whenever, and this is because of the work I've done with attachments and with the star people guiding me and teaching me. I know this for a solid fact. The space outside the body contains the energies of our emotional imprints that are in the nervous system net. We can use different crystals. You can use just the hands. I love and bliss my body. You could take it over your arm, right? I love and I bliss my body. I love and I bliss my face. You could tap. You're releasing different magnetic energies stored within the cells of the body and within the nervous system net, and it reflects into the space outside of the body. the more and more we start to take control and we start to energetically cast that love inwards in the body, in the nervous system, that we reflect it outwards. We can even speak to the aura field. Thank you, aura field or energetic grids, for holding unconditional love and excitement, allowing me to ever so gently shift into my highest potential timeline expression. Thank you, dear energetic grids, as well as Center Soul Tubule, for shifting me and activating unity consciousness for all individuals here. I radiate unconditional love outwards, allowing all individuals outside of me who come into contact with me to be healed. I send my unconditional love to all watching and all in physical reality existence. Thank you. And we are sending many, many love and blessings, dear ones. Thank you for tonight's channeled session. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, star people. Thank you. Beautiful. Okay, so the shadow work Zoom we usually do at 8:30. That is complimentary. If you guys would like to join us, you just have to send an email to daniellelipton.com and I send you guys the Zoom link. So on the shadow work Zoom, we go into different healings. We'll probably be working from the workbook tonight so that we're able to pull different meditations, different techniques, and really dive in and do some shadow work and some healing and clearing. You guys can also ask the star people questions during that. So you guys have a wonderful night, and I love and bless you all. Thank you so much, Mary, for joining us. It is a pleasure and an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
Yes. Enjoy. You guys have a wonderful night.